Welcome everybody to Counter-Strike Generations. I'm joined here by our 3 winners, Yanko, Kassad, Sponge. We're all here. We're going to build a Counter-Strike team. Woo! Basically what we're going to be doing here, we have 3 players for each role of a Counter-Strike team: in-game leader, AWP, support, rifle 1, rifle 2, / lurker. We're going to pick one of 3 players and try and create the best lineup, not just on skills, but also on how their play styles might fit together, also how their personalities might fit together, all the all the extra stuff. Yes, you have your hand raised.
I have a question. What type of team would we like to build?
Well, that's a great question. I think it depends on the names on the list. That's why I was thinking, like, going into the in-game leader category, we have Pronax, Taz, and Nitro, right? So if you want to go Fnatic 2015 style run and gun, right, and shoot people in the head, then Pronax would be the best pick for that, no?
Look, we know Taz is a stand-up guy, but he only ever played with the Polish bunch, right? That same legend. Whereas Pronax, over the years, he played with a bit more of a diverse crew of the Swedes, and I think that they're with a very good team that were reactive. I like Pronax's mid-round calling. I always thought he was quite good at that. I'm leaving Nitro off the list.
Not a huge fan of Nitro in-game leader?
Well, I just think, like, I don't have an issue with Nitro, but he kind of picked it up because he had to. Yeah.
But he's also proven that he can do some good things with it, although certainly not to the level of Pronax. I think
who's got the most majors?
Yeah, absolutely. I just said that. I just said not to the level of Pronax.
No, I just want to point it out. It's like, clear.
Did Nitro ever win a major, Jason? Remind me.
No, come on. The thing is, like, have you learned nothing from the G2 fiasco?
Which particular fiasco are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
The last one.
Why
the thing
is
is, like,
here?
you get Pronax, like, the fragging ability is non-existent. In 2022, you need 5 players that can shoot.
Well, we only have one player.
Come on, man. You're talking about them in their prime.
Well, you need all 5. The first one is a miss.
But this is basically like, say, this is like 2015 Pronax, 2015 Taz, 2019 Nitro.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So who you pick at Kassad of that list?
That's fair. He didn't actually pick
Nitro.
in 2015.
You pick a Nitro
I
for
picked
that
Nitro over all 3 of them, I guess. Taz is a little bit too selfish in game. And obviously, I don't want people to think that he's too selfish as a person. In game, definitely.
Well,
are you bringing up the BMW situation?
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go there. That was my safe,
There it is. There's Chad again.
Stirring the pot. Big wooden
Where's my wooden
out.
spoon?
Yeah. I'd also say, too, like, the Taz, I think I would take immediately off this list as well, just because, I mean, even the VP at their prime was, like, shuffling between Neo as an in-game leader for a while.
Yeah, they just
stepped into it for a bit.
They just changed who was calling the shots. It was probably the same shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
so it'd really be between Pronax and Nitro.
Anyone got a coin?
That's a tough one.
It's a Nitro.
I'm on the Pronax train.
I'm on the Pronax train too. Jason, seniority.
Deciding vote.
I think I would have to go with Pronax as well, as much as I hate to
Hey!
There he is.
You fist bumped me and you say, yeah, my man, and Nitro, and then you pick Pronax.
That's Jason for you. Get used to it.
Yeah.
So then the AWPing category.
Yes.
Zywoo, Device, Guardian.
I mean, Guardian in his prime was insane.
But for me, it's only out of 2 of these names.
What?
It's only out of 2 of these names.
I would take Guardian out of this entirely. I would only
I know, but I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. But there's no... you cannot pick anyone over Zywoo in any team composition. Because, like, for Device, you can say... it's a perfect thing. Device is a bit more of a system player, right? Still incredibly skilled. Guardian is more of a loose cannon, right? Like, individually, he can make things happen. And Zywoo can do both.
Yes.
Right? So,
yes.
So, I think Zywoo is a clear pick for me here.
Yanko and I are the same brain right now.
It has to be Zywoo, because you kind of killed the Device opportunity with picking Pronax.
Exactly.
Right? Just completely, right? And if it was anybody, if it was Yanko there with Device and Guardian, I would pick Yanko, probably.
There we go. There's
wow.
Okay. That's the confidence your in-game leader has in you.
I'd like a vote against that. I'd be the other vote.
For what?
Against Yanko as the...
thank you, Jason, for putting that out there. Definitely necessary for this piece of content.
We don't even need your opinion, but if we were to get it, who are you picking? Zywoo, Device, or Guardian?
With Pronax, I'd
the analysts.
I'd pick Zywoo.
Support?
It's an interesting one.
This is an interesting one.
It's got to be Kyo. Well, Hiko, for just get him off that.
It's amazing how many players we've just pushed to one side immediately.
I feel like if you had S1mple here, you would pick Hiko just for the brotherly love and how much they elevate each other.
I don't think I can remember anything in Hiko's playstyle that would make me be like, that's the support player.
What about the inhuman reactions?
Yeah, 6 shot in a losing round.
Wow! That was...
What?
Wait, this is when the three of you get energy. For my intro, you guys were nowhere to be found. I say one thing, mild, that everyone knows and agrees with. You're like, oh my god.
What about that clutch from Rod?
Which that was pretty.
I would make
he goes out.
I would make an argument for Rush, and the reason I'd make an argument for Rush is because I feel the type of team we're going for here is going to have quite a lot of reactive play, right? And Rush, I'm looking for to be the glue who's going to be able to just fill the gap where required. And over his last couple of years as a player, I feel that's what he's done. He hasn't really cut out a role for himself. He just does what is needed for him. He's the most selfless player out of the three that we have on that list.
The problem I have is Kassad was spot on about Pronax. Even in his prime, he wasn't fragging much, right? So if you want to do that, I feel like you're lacking firepower if you pick Rush over Keo.
True.
Right? Like you should have someone who's a bit more selfish even in that role because Pronax kind of takes the support role as an in-game leader.
Okay.
So you can't have someone like Yoshima. Like Yoshima in his prime, I mean, he wasn't...
He's got to be one of the
He wasn't a top 5 player in the world, but he was pretty good. Like, he was pretty good. His fragging output was good, so I would go for him here.
I've always felt like Keo's got to be one of the more underappreciated players in some of those rosters. Like, he actually has like a sick resume in terms of events that he's won and teams that he's done really well with.
He's won a major.
Yeah, and I too like making the case for Rush, but I think Yanko's point kind of drives it over the finish line for Keo is that extra fragging power to make up for Pronax. I think is super
I like
important.
that logic.
Yeah, I do too.
Kassad?
Yeah, Kiyoshima seems the obvious choice. For example, Hiko in a support role that never happened. Rush, like Yanko said, I do agree that...
Maybe in Valorant.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, that's a different topic, I guess.
We have a couple of Valorant players on this list.
Rush, I don't know. Simply the fragging power as well wouldn't really match, like Yanko said, with Pronax.
But even the E-League version of Rush, even the E-League version of Rush back with Optic, you still put Keo in his prime above that.
Yes.
I really like Rush as a player, but I think I'd have to put Keo above him.
In a different type of a team, he would have a spot.
Okay,
If we went the Nitro
system
device
team,
route,
yeah.
like he would probably have a spot.
Rifler number 1.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Kiyoshima as support.
Keo's support.
Rifle number 1.
This is
Config,
easy for
Yakinder,
me.
Bialy. Yeah, this is no contest.
It's not even a conversation.
You're just gonna say Yakinder, right? You're just gonna say Yakinder.
No, Kassad is going to say Config.
No.
He was telling me at
Yaki all
the
day.
start of this year, Config is the best entry fragger in the world.
Let him explain himself.
Yeah, well,
And he
Config
went on the server.
started off very, very well. He was playing all right, and then I don't even know what happened to him. Like, nobody knows.
The injuries.
Obviously, the injuries and the state in the Astralis was obviously not helping. And, you know, if you compare him to Yakinder, definitely Yakinder is 3 times better right now.
I'm taking Yakinder not just for the individual prowess, but just look at the way the guy has turned around an entire organization as well. Like, why would you not want a player like that within your ranks?
So
He's going to bring good vibes.
Yep.
Right?
Listen, we have Config, Yakinder, and Bialy. Like, they are 2 entries, and Bialy was a... No, he wasn't an entry. He was semi-aggressive.
He was an anchor on CT. Like, he would play 2 spots on every map. I mean, 2 spots. He's like a anchor, and he would have, you know, 2 positions. And the thing that Bialy had at the time, probably better than any player in the world, was crosshair placement. Like, you know, players weren't as good back in the day, the average skill level. So Bialy, you just see him, and, you know, it would seem like players are just coming into his screen, and he's just mowing them down, had great spray control.
Yes.
So he was really good, but a bit of a too one-dimensional player for what we're going for here in our team.
It has to be Yakinder as an entry role rifler one.
Yeah.
That's
Must
a
be.
Yaki.
Yep.
I think what Yakinder brings to this as well, when you look at the names on the list, like I said, Pronax is a bit more of a quiet guy, right? He's a fun guy, but he's a bit more of a quiet guy. Zywa is also going to be chuckling along. I think that Yakinder would be like the heart of the team in terms of like rallying the troops, getting everybody on the same page, getting everybody fired up. And I think that's what he brings to this mix as well as the in-game stuff. So I would attribute that to him as well. Like, even if we were saying, yeah, Config, he could do great in that role, I think Yakinder brings more outside
Overall,
of it. Yeah. So Yakinder, easy one here.
Rifler number 2/Lurker. Get Right, Coldzera, and Shocks.
This was easy for me, I think.
Easy.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we're on the same page, but
I
it's
think
still
we
easy
are.
for
That's
me.
why I'm waiting for you to say something.
I would go Coldzera.
Yes.
Seems undoubtable.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Coldzera
So
has to be.
that's-
One of the most clutch players ever.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind as well. But if I'm trying to like deep dive into kind of the idea behind this entire like little piece of content is who's going to be his taco? Who's going to be the guy you buddy up with him?
Guy above him. Called Yakinder.
Yakinder?
Yeah. I mean, the state of Counter-Strike right now is a little bit different than it was before. Coldzera right now, I don't know how would he fit in the this kind of a defaulty Counter-Strike. You know that back in the day of the Brazilian era, it was like all about the system and the roles and everything they did. Right now, if we build this kind of lineup, I don't know, Janko knows better than me because he was in his team, right? Back in, was it 2019? And you know better than we do, how would he perform in a default-based Counter-Strike rather than a system strategic execution-based?
I think he can perform really well. And for me, it's Cold too, without a doubt. The thing is, like, people might want to try and make a case for Get-Right, like, because early on when he was in his prime, but here's how I look at it. It's like, he was in his prime when Counter-Strike was in his infancy. Get-Right was still playing competitively when Cold was coming onto the scene. And then, you know, there were other guys who just became better, right? Like, I don't feel like Get-Right fell off as much as everyone else has risen during that time. And I've seen Cold, I've seen him play. I've been there when he's like on, and when he's like in the zone, and it's just incredible what he can do, how well he understands the game. Like, he sees, everyone's playing checkers, he's playing chess. He sees 5 steps ahead what's going to happen. And for a team like this that's run and gun, and a lot of aggressive riflers and so on, having a guy like him who's more passive and who's going to stay alive at the end and close out rounds, as Kassad says, I think there's no one better.
I think as well, I know you said Yakinda to go with Cold Zero, but you could even like have Pronax as the sacrificial lamb in certain situations for him, right?
True.
Because if you had the pack of Zywoo, Keo, and Yakinda, that was your pack taking map. That's strong, right? And like also on certain bomb sites, we know Cold can just lock stuff down. I also think there's only 2 names here that can do secondary AWPing. It's Cold Zero and Shox, but I would be picking Cold Zero over Shox every day of the week. So,
and I mean, to talk about Shox just a little bit, he was also amazing in his prime in terms of great game sense, right? A fearless player. It's just that everything that he can do, Cold can do a little bit better, right? So if Cold, I think out of all the players ever, I would pick Cold for this position. Like, if I could choose from all the players who ever played, I'd pick Cold to be my closer.
Yeah, he would be up there.
He's expanded the entire list from 3 to...
Well, just saying how much I kind of value him in terms of that.
He would definitely be up there. Rops would be up there as well when all time,
I was going to say Rops would be one that would probably contest that a little bit. But yeah, I think Cold Zero on this list as well is pretty solid. Can we do something just real quick? I want to run through it like really fast, 30 seconds.
Okay.
If we go back to the top and say Nitro's the in-game leader instead of Pronax. Let's just build a new team down the list. Don't have to deep dive into everything.
Device,
Nitro, you'd go
Rush.
Device. Would you go Rush or would you stick with Keo?
I'd go Rush. I'd still go Yakinda, and I'd still go Cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd only be the first 3 that would change.
The thing is, though, I was just going to say I would still go Zywoo over Device, because he's also a sort of a, right? Like,
yeah, that's a fair.
It's kind of hard to skip it. That's
it's he's like a generational talent, and sure, maybe it would be a little bit more rigid than Vitality is now, but I don't feel like that would be a problem
for Zywoo,
for him, right?
Okay.
Like, it would be a problem for someone like potentially Simple. You couldn't get as much out of him. Like, you would be limiting him. Zywoo wouldn't be limited. He would
it's
still
like, Zywoo is like your Kobe to LeBron, Messi to Ronaldo kind of thing. We have Simple, we have Zywoo. It's like, if there is a lineup and he has a chance to be in there, he should be in there.
And then you figure everything else out.
Oh, well.
Poor Deva, left out again. Either way, that's Generations. That's Counter-Strike Generations. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for our lovely contestants for building a phenomenal team.
I won.
All right.
Well, someone had to win.